Oh, prepare to die. Come and kiss me. Honestly, good on TXT for continuing to keep us on our toes. Hello, Claire Bears. It's Elsie. Welcome to my channel if you are new, and if you're returning, welcome back. I am thrilled to be reacting to yet another TXT comeback in 2023. TXT has honestly been spoiling us this year with the name chapter FREEFALL, which is an interesting name considering the final track on the name chapter, Temptation, was Farewell Neverland. So it seems like we are directly transitioning now into that free fall of, no longer boyhood, no longer in this Peter Pan fairy tale universe. We are now strictly in the real world, being thrust into adulthood. So I'm going to be reacting to this album in 3 parts because not only does Hybe not allow entire album reactions in one video, but they also don't allow, that I've found through trial and error, more than 4 songs in a single video without it getting blocked. So because of that, and because of this album having 10 songs and the fact that I am reacting to more than one piece of content for at least one song here, that's why this video is going to be in 3 parts. So we're going to be starting off here with Growing Pain and then Chasing That Feeling, the music video, as well as the dance practice, and then part 2 will be the next 4 songs, and then part 3 will be the final 4 songs. Plus, I'll be doing an unboxing of the Weverse version of the album, which I purchased while I was in Korea, and I had pre-ordered the album before I left. However, I already opened this because just earlier a friend of mine came over, and while I was in Korea I had bought her this album because the prices were so much cheaper compared to Canada. I would say probably about 1/3 of the price compared to what you would pay here in Canada, which is why I decided to splurge on this, because in Korea 13,000 won for this Weverse version, plus I ended up getting a 20% discount because of the store having a deal. Plus, I got the taxes back because I think if you spend more than 30,000 won and you have your passport, you could get a discount. Yeah, all this to say, I got it for really cheap. So I decided to splurge on it. So we'll open this at the end. But I thought if any of you are regular viewers of my channel and have seen me do unboxings before, you would get a kick out of the fact that that is basically a meme at this point that I just always pull Bumkyu every single time. Always pull Bumkyu. So for the 8.5 by 11 poster that came with the TXT album, I got Bumkyu. And then for the photo card, I got Bumkyu. And then in what I think is maybe a pre-order special that I got from where I ended up ordering, I got this transparent Bumkyu photo card. I would love to know the math at this point of how often I have pulled Bumkyu and what the likelihood is, because I think I own 4 TXT albums and I've pulled Bumkyu every single time, multiple times within each album. So yeah, if someone is great at statistics or probability, I would love to know the math on that. But then I also, for the kind of CD sized photo, I pulled Hyunin Kai, and then the album came with 2 photo cards. So for the second, I pulled Supin. But yeah, so we'll see in the final part 3, what I end up pulling for the Weverse version. But yes, let's get to the video. Enough talking. Let's get to the reaction. But before we do, please don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoy it. I would sincerely appreciate it, and subscribe to my channel. For today's beverage of the day today, we have some Prosecco to enjoy, because essentially this is what was left over in my fridge after a very, very long work week while simultaneously being jet lagged, which is of course why this video is late. But we've got 3 parts today, so I'm going to keep the ball rolling, and I poured the entire bottle of what was left of the Prosecco in this bad boy, which is meant for like picnics and stuff, but I am essentially going to be picnicking in here because this is going to take 3 parts to film, and what you see in the final product, normally what I end up filming and the footage and, all the takes and the time it takes me to think about what I want to say after the video and that sort of thing, I end up filming for about twice as long as what the final product is. So yeah, we might be doing this for a while. So based on the amount of Prosecco I have by the end of this, this could go completely off the rails. We'll have to see. So stay tuned for whatever might unfold. But we're gonna get started here with Growing Pain, which is, an interesting way to start this album because, again, it seems like a kind of transition type of song going from this Peter Pan boyhood escape type of concept into adulthood is here. The real world is happening. So there are going to be some pains that occur from that, stark transition. So according to the description on the TXT fandom wiki, Growing Pain is a metal-based hard rock genre song. Holy cow. Are we about to get Dreamcatcher enter the chat? Dreamcatcher is my favorite girl group, so if so, I'm pretty excited. Dynamic drums and rough textured, distorted guitars are attractive, and the explosive melody and Tomorrowbytogethers tone combine to maximize the dreamy atmosphere and immersion. The first thing I encounter on my journey from the beautiful but irresponsible paradise to reality is the pain that comes upon me at the point of gliding. The boy decides to accept even this pain as growing pain. Yeonjun, Taehyun, and Huening Kai participated in writing the lyrics. Interesting. So wow, we are going to probably be starting off with a literal bang on this album. So again, it seems like a really good choice of genre to create that feeling of, intensity and potentially disorientation, angst, all that good stuff. And an extra special thank you to Shadow by Yoongi, who will be providing the lyric videos for this reaction. So let's listen to Growing Pain. I am very excited to see how this metal concept gets executed. So let's go. Are we gonna do some headbanging today? Ooh, that's cool. And they're in the background, they're wee, wee. Ooh. Oh. Just right off the bat, these vocals. Oh. I love the contrast of these really soft vocals from Soobin with these more intense vocals. It's a great choice. I like the deeper vocals. But I feel like Taehyun's vocals are designed for these angsty songs. Oh, this is so cool. I'm actually obsessed with this. Okay, I'm brain is not working. Already, it's just shutting down because this is just making me so happy. I just feel like there's no one in K-pop who pulls off the angst vibe better than TXT. It's not just their vocals that are so well suited for this kind of genre, but it's also the delivery, just the intensity. Been free falling into thin air under the cliff at the end of paradise. Again, that temptation land. Don't know how to fly, but I'm going to try to let go. The sharp air that scratches my entire body. Gravity pulls me in. You can just feel that free fall happening. In childhood, dream, endless fall, evidence of growth. It's different from the dream that ended when I woke up. It's this is reality now, and my whole body hurts. There's no way to stop. The weight of that free fall is starting to set in. Fall endlessly, willingly go low. Throw your body into pain. I crash into it without fear. I fall headlong. Throw at your body into reality. Face what is happening and just dive right in. Maybe a little bit of that, reckless abandon from your youth carrying you into the present. But again, my insomnia heart is just so happy listening to this, and I would absolutely, this now makes me realize I would love to hear Dreamcatcher cover a TXT song and vice versa. That would be glorious. But okay, let's keep going and see how the rest of the song unfolds. Like rasping his voice there. Kind of reminds me of like a Tool song. Yes. Ugh. I feel like all the millennials, right? Like, okay, let me stop and form a proper sentence. I feel like all the millennials out there are going to love this song, especially those who were, you know, in the thick of their childhood during the nu metal phase of the early 2000s, like myself. It just like brings back the nostalgia and the memories, which is so appropriate for a song like this and the topic that it's addressing, which I don't know if that was intentional. Maybe it was, I'm not sure. But knowing TXT, like everything is intentional. So shout out to my fellow millennials out there who are experiencing nostalgia to the max. Those drum fills. Yeah, very Tool-ish. Oh. Oh my goodness. I actually have goosebumps. Like, how are they going to top this now when this is the first song on the album? I don't know. Absolutely unfreaking real. All of them just absolutely slayed the vocal performance on this. And I feel like it's a very full circle moment in a way, because I remember the good old days of listening to a TXT song and the instrumental sounding so happy, but the lyrics being so depressing. And this could be because my memory is garbage, but I'm trying to remember a recent song on a recent album that had that same structure, because it kind of seems like the instrumentals now have gone full angst, but the lyrics are delivering it too, and they really just paint such a vivid picture. Like, even if blood flows and bones break, gotta make my way through this, I'm falling. Open your eyes and look at the ground over there, don't avoid it ever. It seems like they don't really have any fear facing this next stage of their life, and that they're putting their pedal to the metal. Wait. Pun not intended in this situation, but pedal to the metal, and in typical TXT fashion are not half-assing anything, and they're whole-assing this thing. So yeah, absolutely. I feel like blown away is an understatement. I'm just so tickled that this started with a metal track. I honestly, like, that was the last that was the last thing I would have guessed. Honestly, good on TXT for continuing to keep us on our toes. But this brings us now to our title track here and the music video for Chasing That Feeling. So this is interesting because Chasing That Feeling, in a way, kind of harkens back to Temptation. And, you know, you think of Sugar Rush Ride and the Gimme Gimme More. So is, in a way, Chasing That Feeling going to be an extension of that in this, like, adult universe, this real world? Whether it's, you know, missing the Temptation Island situation and kind of trying to bring that back into the real world and touch into that, or is this going to be more like indulging in the realities of the present? So again, according to the wiki and a Melon article, Chasing That Feeling is a new wave genre with a 1980s sensibility. Oh yes, I love me a good 80s synthwave track. Some of my favorite K-pop songs are 80s synthwave. Think Bad Love from Key, I Can't Stop Me from Twice. I could go on, but all this to say, this is exciting. It's a song that announces a new beginning in reality, leaving behind a sweet but growthless past. Unlike youth anthems that are romantic and full of hope, Tomorrow by Together increases empathy among the youth of this era by honestly revealing and facing the pain, anxiety, and futility of reality. Oh. So are they kind of giving like giving Gen Z a reality check about what's ahead in adulthood? So I like wake up and smell the coffee type of song. And I also find it really interesting that they use a retro type of genre to emphasize the present. That juxtaposition is super interesting. Ugh, not that I was excited before, but I'm even more excited now to see what we have and how's this all going to tie back to the lore too. Dang it, I did not do shoot. I meant to do a lore refresher before I did this video, but we'll see. It'll be a test, I suppose. How much do I remember? And kind of on that note, I was surprised that there was no concept trailer for this album, maybe because, you know, it was for the name chapter as a whole for Temptation. I don't know. I did also see those short concept clips, but I kind of just decided not to react to those. But looks like this is New York City, right? Looks like the Empire State Building there. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what we have here with Chasing That Feeling. So let's watch. Excuse me. Who are you? Oh. Oh, interesting. So they've kind of like crash landed like with Sugar Rush Ride where they just wash up on the beach. Now they've crash landed back on Earth in the real world, and they've made it very clear that this is the real world because it's obviously New York City. That's so smart and so cool. Ugh, I love it. And all the stars. Oh, prepared to die. Oof. Come and kiss me. Kind of makes me think of like Puma a little. Some of the choreography and stuff. Ooh. So what is that kind of essence? Oh my god. This is making me anxious. Huh. Oh. So now it's Bumgyu driving the car here. Normally it was Yeonjun. Oh my gosh. I'm so anxious. They're doing such a good job at establishing that feeling. Oh my goodness. Spider-Man Taehyun. Very like Tron-y. So there's two. There's the blue and the red. And I really like this instrumental. It's fun. It's kind of like weekendy. I like their outfits. And it's kind of, this outfit is interesting because with the shorts and the high socks and the shoes, it does evoke this feeling of like a school uniform and boyhood. So I have a feeling that this whole album really is going to have this feeling of a transition, of that transition that Gen Z are going through of, you know, becoming an adult and how you can find yourself still holding on to pieces of the past. So yeah, lots of interesting choices here. Ooh. But then again, it's like we're in the real world, but all this Inception-y type of stuff is happening. So is it a dream? Ooh, that was a cool move. Oh, I'm so excited for the dance practice. I forgot. I forgot that was coming. Oh, okay. Just back to normal. That's fine. It's not like you were just dancing in the intersection. No big deal. But yeah, first of all, the song itself, I really liked the instrumental. Kind of reminded me of You Can't Sit With Us by Sunmi. And then like a little bit of that Weeknd twist thrown into it. I know that they like the Weeknd, especially because, you know, I'm blanking. What's it called? Opening sequence. That took me way too long. Opening sequence kind of had that Weeknd-y feel to it. But yeah, it's super fascinating with the lyrics now, where they start off with the very first piece of the song of I turn my back on heaven and fall from the sky, of, you know, abandoning their temptation land. Maybe I'll miss it for good, the sweet mirage. I feel like the sweet mirage, that sounds familiar. Oh, okay. Second world tour by tomorrow. Oh my goodness, I just realized that they've only been on 2 tours because they debuted like right before COVID. But anyways, that's a fun little callback. Pain on my flesh, I prepared to die, faster still, down to earth like a meteorite. And though I'm marred, leave me, I just keep on chasing that feeling. And then time spent astray, I was lost like a child, I finally saw the truth. So again, this idea of childhood and boyhood, and I feel so alive. Although I just realized, I said before, the blue and then the red light, but now I'm seeing Bumgyu has green and Taehyun's was pink. So is this then kind of symbolic of them each kind of choosing their own fate and their own direction, rather than kind of in previous concepts it was they would be like together, a team, and you know, they'd often get separated and look to find each other once again, but now they're actively like choosing different paths, which is, you know, interesting and definitely a part of adulthood, is forging your own path and identity. And I had alluded to this pretty quickly during the video, but it's really interesting how they just create this feeling of anxiety and almost adrenaline as you watch them perform these kind of death-defying acts of really, you know, taking risks and almost like testing the limits and the realities of this new world that they've been dropped into. But then, you know, at one point they do come back to one another in this star formation that is not lost on me. I missed that in my first watch, and now, you know, clicking through I noticed that. I just feel like there's so many little nuggets. I'm sure I'm missing all kinds of stuff, but they just are so good at dropping so many different references and, you know, pieces of lore into these videos that just really makes you think and really indulges you into this universe. Like, I love a good TXT lore music video. But after getting a little taste of the choreography, I'm very excited now to see the dance practice for Chasing That Feeling. So if this were going to be keeping in form with a TXT dance practice, we're going to get a lot of fun formations. We're going to get an incredibly tiring looking routine that looks incredibly arduous. And then we're going to get some fun acting out of the lyrics. So let's see what the Chasing That Feeling dance practice has in store. Oh, and some good shoe squeaks. I missed that. We're getting some like throwback Bumgyu hair in this era. Ooh. We're getting these like star formations. I like that, doing the like ready, set, go type of on your marks move for like chasing. They're just so captivating. Ooh, zoom out. That spin. And they were in the star formation for that line. Yeah, I really like Chasing That Feeling as a title track, at least so far. Obviously, it'll take time listening to it. Oh! Do you know what I just realized? This part reminds me of Take On Me by a-ha. They're like, a great 80s song. But I just realized the instrumental evoked that, but I was in the middle of talking about something else. What was I talking about? The ADHD is ADHDing today, apparently. Talking about formations. I don't remember. I'm sure it'll come to me at some point. Let's just keep going for now. Oh, I remember now. So I was gonna say that, you know, Chasing That Feeling, I feel like immediately upon my first listen, I do like it more than I liked Sugar Rush Ride after my first couple of listens. Again, because I'm just like so partial to the synthwave pop. You know, 80s music was just a huge part of my childhood. So, you know, when I hear the modern take on 80s music, it just like, oh, it just warms my heart and it makes me so happy. But, you know, I would be curious to know what you think of Chasing That Feeling compared to Sugar Rush Ride. And, you know, it's hard to compare the two songs because they're very different. Because, you know, Chasing That Feeling almost has like a Western feel to it, whereas I did find Sugar Rush Ride felt more K-pop-y. But anyway, let me know your thoughts about both songs and how you feel like they compare. I'd be very interested. Ooh. Yeonjun always has those like moments of ascension in the choreography, whether it's a lift or, you know, stepping on people. I love that choreography matching with the beat of the synth. The heavy breathing. You know what? I wasn't thinking at all about how difficult the choreography was, but I feel like it definitely was more difficult than how it seemed. And I feel like this is a routine that I'd have to watch back a couple of times to just catch every little detail that went into it, because obviously, as usual, I was a little distracted with my many different thought bubbles that just popped up as we went along. And I feel like there were some points where the shoe squeaks and like hitting the ground and making noise was very satisfying, that it was all happening at the exact same time. So, you know, of course, TXT continuing to be synchronization kings. But folks, this brings us to the end of part 1. We are off to a fantastic start with the name chapter Free Fall, and I'm very excited to see what's in store for the rest of the album. So the next part is going to be the Back for More TXT version all the way to Happily Ever After. So if you like to check that out, you can click on this right here. But before you go, I would love to hear your thoughts about these first 2 songs. Let me know down in the comments, and definitely give this video a like before you go. So we will see you shortly for part 2.